G'day, this is Paul from Democast Media helping you make better training videos. Coming up on today's live stream, I'm going to explain the 4 reasons why gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube and how those insights can help you make awesome screencasts. I'm also going to give you my first impressions on CloudApp as a visual communication tool, what I like about it, and also just my first impressions. I'm going to explain a simple way of removing background noise in Audacity. I'm new to using that kind of stuff as post, but I'll go through that, and I'll finish on things that I like. So if this is the first time you're on this stream or watching any of my videos, firstly, thank you, welcome. And make sure to subscribe if you want to learn how to make better training resources with things like screen capture, Camtasia, Snagit, those types of software. Or if you want to learn how to share your screen with other people for work purposes, for training purposes. If you want to know how to make better training documentation that has screenshots in it and how to use that well, sign up to this channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. So that's all the kind of stuff you'll expect on this channel. So without further ado, here's my intro. Okay, so first up, something that I've been introduced to this week by accident is this thing called CloudApp. Now, I may be late to the party here, but when I saw the explainer video behind the software, I thought they made this just for me. So I'm just going to head on over to the website. I'll share that. Okay, so what you should see on the screen hopefully is the CloudApp website. And what this does is lets you use screenshots, GIFs, screen recordings, and be able to share that with other work colleagues. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the audio on this, but you'll get the idea of why it is that I loved this software so much.
When you're collaborating on a project, sharing complicated thoughts can be tough. That's why we made CloudApp. Just record your thoughts and then share them.
Okay, so if that wasn't audible there, it's being able to share your thoughts, like record your thoughts and then share them. We do not work well that way, at least in the organizations I've been at. We do not utilize visual communication the way it ought to be, especially when you get these emails and you're like, what does that mean? Like, that just brings up more questions than answers. Using screenshots or using kind of a GIF technology would help you with that. And so this would seem like would be a professional way of making that available for people in the workplace. So if I just get out of that, you'll see here that it's a screen recorder, GIF creator, and you can annotate whatever screenshots that you are wanting to use. So it's all looking very professional here. You can edit and annotate, share that instantly, when I think that's a really good option. To just being able to share a link with someone of something you've captured is going to save you a lot of time. People are going to understand immediately what you're trying to achieve. And if you're wondering what that thing is in the background, it's my 2-year-old son bashing on the table there. So this is our family. Now, it looks like there are lots of big companies that use this, and you can integrate this to Basecamp or Buffer. Now, another thing I liked about this initially when I signed up with my work account, you can increase or lengthen out the trial period if you do a survey. And I think that's very clever of them to understand understanding their audience, like what kind of people are using this software. And so they give you a longer trial period, which I think is a very good idea. Now, when I did start using it, my first impressions of it though was it was missing a few annotations, which I thought would just be part and parcel, like a highlights annotation, and that is having a highlight annotation is something I would have thought was standard. You can get that in GreenShot, which is a free screen capture tool, and Camtasia has that as well as a highlight option. So that was missing. When I did try the recording the video and then putting it as a link. I tested the link, and then when it went to the site, it said it wasn't compatible. I couldn't actually play the video. Now this might just be me having to get used to the software, but my initial thoughts were I thought this was going to be a bit easier than I had imagined. But look, I've still got plenty to go in my trial period now, so I might do a review on that later. So if you're into that kind of thing, go to getcloudapp.com to test it out for yourself. Sign up, give it a go. It's free, and there's a free version after the trial period is up. So there's really nothing to lose. So if any of you out there actually use this or have experience with the CloudApp software, let me know. Let me know what you think about it, or if you think there are any other better options than that. But that is something that I discovered this week. Now, in terms of other discoveries, so again, I am trying to improve my stuff as I go along. I want to improve my audio. And one thing that I've been studying about is how do I remove, well, firstly, how do I do post editing better of my audio? And given that I don't have a studio, I just work with wherever I am. Doing editing after your recording is really essential, especially for your audio. And I came across a channel, I believe is Mike Russell. He's a professional radio producer. He does a lot of voiceover stuff. Really liking his tutorials. Now, in my search, I found a way to quickly remove background noise using Audacity, which is a free tool. So I'll share that in a moment. So, all right, so what you should see now is this is audio from a recent project that I've been working on, and I'll just, and again, you may not be able to hear what's going on here, but you at least see the 5 steps that you can follow in Audacity to remove some of the background noise. So you'll see here where there's that gap in speaking, and that's going to sound like background noise, as opposed to this part here, which is just a straight line. This stuff doesn't sound great. And so there's 5 steps you can follow in Audacity to just clean that up so it's not as disturbing in the background. So first thing you want to do is where you've got some gaps between your speaking parts, you just highlight that there. Then going to Effect, you go to Noise Reduction. Now I've got these set up already based on a tutorial that I saw. You do 12 for noise reduction, sensitivity, leave that at 6, and then hit Get Noise Profile. Then you go back to noise reduction, and then you hit OK. So if you saw what just happened there, it just made a whole lot of that level out a lot more. Doesn't look as rough. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it. That's really rough there, a lot of background noise. That has less. So then the next step that you can follow to apply that same setting across the board without having to select each gap one by one, if you go Control A, you can do Control A. In this case, I'm going to select that piece there. You go back to Effect, and you'll notice that there's this option, Repeat Noise Reduction. So you click that, and it has just applied that same setting across those gaps there. So there should be far less background noise for your audio. Again, I'll just play this briefly. If you can hear this, that would be great.
The card or your account balance if you have enough funds.
So hopefully if you have heard that or not, I was recording within a walk-in wardrobe, and I tried putting stuff around it to dampen any background noise, but there's still a bit in there. So following those 5 steps in Audacity will let you have cleaner sound. It's going to make your audio stand out more. It's going to make it pop. And I mean, that's not the only thing you should do. There are other things you need to apply to your audio. But that's one thing that I learnt this week that will help my screencasts be better and will help yours as well. So the thing I want to talk about today in more detail has to do with an article that I read from Google. And I thought I read it just out of curiosity because it's talking about why gamers watch video game. Let me just start that over so it doesn't roll off the tongue. Why gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube when you're like, well, why don't you just play the game? You know, I never thought that gaming was really a spectator sport. You know, I'll be honest, gaming for me feels like a big waste of time. That's just me. I never really was good at them. We had a Super Nintendo and we had the one game which was like Yoshi's Island, and that was it. And even with that, I wasn't very good at it. So I'm not really the gaming type. But I know there are people out there who are interested in streaming their video gameplay or recording their screen and showing people what they're doing. Fine, all power to you. So I started reading it, and there are 4 reasons why gamers watch gaming videos. And as I was reading it, it started making sense to me, and it was backed up by data. And as I was looking at it, I was surprised to see that it validated my passion for screen capture. And I thought, I did not expect that. I'm going to switch to the article itself, and I'll just highlight some of those points there, because it is very important for anyone making training videos or training resources, which, especially if you're posting it on YouTube, but this applies to anyone presenting. If you're a presenter of some kind, these steps will help you. If you are making a course, this will help you. And again, if you're making DIY tutorials, this will also help you make your stuff even better, because it's not just about the content. So this is a Think with Google article, 4 reasons people watch gaming content on YouTube. And you've got the authors right there. So I'll leave a link to this later. So some interesting facts that you need to know here is that 48% of YouTube gamers say they spend more time watching gaming videos on YouTube than actually playing them. 48%. Nearly 50% say they watch it more than actually playing games. And that again is mind-boggling to me. Why? Why would you ever do that? Well, here's the first reason why people do this. The first reason that gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube is for the community, to be part of something larger than oneself. And it can be quite lonely, I imagine, if you're just playing on your own. But even if you're amongst a group of people online playing it, it could be quite isolating. And I suppose what the data is saying here is that people who have the same interests want to connect with others who feel the same way about games. And it's not just about gaming, it's about anything. You want to get together with people who, like for me personally, I'm obsessed with bird watching. I love birding. I'm lucky that my wife enjoys that kind of thing as well, but I couldn't really connect with people when I was younger on that hobby of mine, that passion. But when you do, it makes your hobby even more meaningful to you. And this is what they're saying here. So this quote, so for instance, this guy Jordan, who's 24, he says, "I love the sense of community you get on YouTube, for gaming especially." And he says, "I follow this guy Dunkey, and he's great, but what I really love is reading the comments on his page and responses to his videos." So this is his way of connecting to a community, people who feel the same way about gaming. He's able to connect with them. And so how does this apply to screen capture or DIY tutorials? What this says is that people may be attracted first to your content, but they stick around for the community. And this has benefits in a number of ways. So firstly, people will stick around and consume your content. So having that community there builds social proof and people to bounce ideas off of. The community can answer other people's questions. So it's not just you having to do the work, the community pitching in to do that. And the community can ask you questions so you know what matters to them. And that they can supply you with great ideas. They can tell you what's working, what's not. It gives legs to your idea, and it helps your audience get the most out of your content. Now, if you're not on YouTube creating content, wherever you're hosting your material, you can even just set up a Facebook group and have people interact there, and that could be a value add which may not have been something that you initially thought that you'd include. But community matters. Community matters, and that's what this article says here. And that's how you can complement and add value to your tutorials, courses. So that's number one. Number two, the second reason that gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube is for the inclusion, to feel accepted. And this has been a trend for a while now. It's not just young teenage boys. A lot of girls are into games. Okay, that's another quote here from Naomi. It doesn't really matter what you look like or how old you are, because if you enjoy video games, you enjoy video games. That's what makes you a gamer. And this other stat here, 66% of female YouTube gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube when they want to hear from people they can relate to. So I had to think about that. Like, why does that matter? How does that apply? And when I got to thinking about it, you have to understand audience. You have to understand who you're preparing your material for. And I had to learn this the hard way this week in the presentation. It did not hit the mark. It didn't hit the mark because it was like teaching, like telling people how to suck eggs, basically. Like something so simple. It was not catered to the level of expertise that the group was at. And I had just copied and pasted my same format that had worked with other groups, didn't work with this group because I did not understand the audience here. So in this case, the gamers want to feel a sense of inclusion. You need to understand who your audience are. You need to start with that first. So firstly, you need to understand what are their frustrations, what are their questions, what do they already know? Who are they? If you had to make an avatar of them, what would that look like? So you want to go as deep as you can. If you fail to look at the composition of your audience and what they're after, it doesn't matter how good you think the content is, it's always going to fall flat. And there's plenty of ways to understand your analytics and the demographics of your audience. I mean, YouTube makes it very easy to be able to do that. So make sure that you use the analytics section of YouTube, see what people are attracted to, the average watch time on certain videos. You'll actually be surprised if you look and you think that, I think sometimes that, oh, everyone watches my videos to start to finish, and you'll be surprised how quickly a lot of people jump off. So you need to understand that. Now you have tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ. All these things can help you understand audience. So that's reason number two. Reason number three, that people go to YouTube to watch video games, videos. Let's get back here. So the fun of it, to escape. It's like a spectator sport for some people. It says here, 73% of YouTube gamers say they enjoy watching others play games on YouTube. And it say why? For the same reasons folks might watch a video, so watch a movie or read a novel. How does this apply to your screencasts? Well, if you think about it for a moment, why would anyone go and watch a movie? It's not about the length. It's something feels long if it lacks direction. So the question is, how do you make your screencasts or your training resources more enjoyable? If we just stick with screencasts for a moment, the reason that we stick around to watch a video series or a movie, something of that nature, is because of the story. We are hooked on the story. We all love stories. We all pay attention when someone's telling a great story, and that you've got to weave elements of story in what you are creating. So you need to study, and this is why I like guys like D for Darius on YouTube. He's an actor that does tutorials on story in making movies, but he weaves in story in what he does. And all of his tutorials are enjoyable to watch because he integrates story into that. There's a book, and the author escapes me, but it's called How to Make Videos That Don't Suck. And it's like film school wrapped up into a book. So if you get that book, and I'm sure you'll find it on Amazon, How to Make Videos That Don't Suck, it will tell you how to use story B-roll, how to plan your scenes, storyboarding, everything to keep you engaged. And one of the things I learned from that book was, if you can, you want to try and change up what's on the screen every 5 to 10 seconds, ideally, if you can. But it's the idea of maintaining engagement by changing up what's on the screen, and that's what TV shows do all the time. So study about storytelling and movie making, and you'll be able to use that into your screencasts. The final reason that gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube, and this is the one that made the most sense to me, for the desire to improve, to learn skills. And that's why I was like, fist pumping right there. Yes, that is exactly the most logical reason why I thought anyone would want to watch gaming videos on YouTube. It's to improve. It's there are plenty of people out there who they're so good at these games, and anyone that aspires to just improve on their craft, they'll watch someone do their thing, and they will learn. They'll get better, and that made the most sense to me. In fact, 74% of YouTube gamers say they go to YouTube to learn how to get better at a game. That made the most sense to me. And this is why I think a lot of, I don't understand it, why more people don't utilize this in their own businesses or in their own teams. If you are the sole source of information, and when you go away for vacation, no one else knows how to do anything because you're the one that understands like how to do things. If you just document what you know and put it in a screencast, you're going to help your team get better at what they do, because people learn better visually. You will learn stuff and remember stuff better if you see what's happening on the screen. And this is why screen capture is so important. So they're the stats. They're the 4 reasons why gamers watch gaming content on YouTube. So make sure to check that article out. It really was something that was an eye-opener for me. Made complete sense as I went through the content there. So excuse me, just making my way through there. So if you are just joining in here, this is a live stream from Democast Media. I help people learn how to use screen capture tools to make better training resources, to be a better visual communicator. It's going to help you save time, money, angst, and you'll help your teams get better results that way. Or if you want to use it for documentation, you can check that out. So I've already covered the CloudApp as a way to communicate visually in my first impressions, and Audacity, a way to remove background noise in your audio. And I've just covered the 4 reasons why gamers watch gaming videos on YouTube and how that can improve your screencasts. Now I'm on to the last thing here, things that I like. So if you weren't aware, Udemy had a huge sale. It was massive. Things were off 80%, 90% off their courses. And I got there just in the nick of time. So just before it went out, I got myself a Camtasia course by, again, I should have actually had the name prepared, but Ron Hogue, I believe is his name. Course is normally $140, $150. I got it for $17. Steal, I love that. So loving that. And I also got a voiceover course, again, at like $17, and it was a huge discount on the price. So really loving that. And I will go through those courses progressively and share what I learn. And the last thing that I like, completely unrelated, so it is Easter weekend, and tomorrow we'll be going to the Warburton Trail with my family. So we've got bikes ready. We'll take my 2-year-old son, stick him at the back, and we're going to head down from Lilydale to Warburton. So if there are any Melburnians out there, let me know if you've been along the Warburton Trail. But that is something we've been looking forward to for a long time, and I think the weather's going to be stellar finally in Melbourne. So that's it for today. That's the live stream. So if you were part of this, thank you so much for watching. So just as a recap from what I've spoken about, check out CloudApp as a tool for communicating visually, sharing your thoughts, capturing and sharing your thoughts. So that's a tagline there. So let me know what you think about that application. If you know ways of removing the background noise from audio, from Audacity. I sort of showed how to do that, but if you have resources, or if you know a way to do that, let us know in the comments. 4 reasons why gamers watch gaming content on YouTube. It was for, let me, so I sort of don't have these memorized. For the community, to be part of something bigger than themselves, for inclusion, for the fun of it, and for the desire to improve and learn. So there you go. So thanks so much for watching. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe if you want to learn how to use tools like Camtasia, or tools that are like Snagit. And there are plenty of things out there that will help you capture what's on your screen and to make training resources, for instance. So that's the kind of stuff I do on this channel. I'm really passionate about it. I want to help you save time and remove the stress of making training resources. Remove the stress in your daily work life from confusion, communication errors that could be erased in seconds by using screen capture, and to get your message across to your audience in a clear fashion that anyone can understand. That's the power of screen capture. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the Easter weekend. And this is Paul signing off. See you next time.